urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove what the will of God is, that which is good, acceptable, and perfect. Romans 12, verses 1 and 2. Now, I gotta say, I've been doing a little bit of reading into my Bible, which I have to confess that I haven't really done a very good job. The kind of the last half of the year of 2026. And, everyone has their ups and downs in the Christian walk and just in life in general. And honestly, you know, I I've started back up reading my Bible and been reading through Romans because I feel, like I said a couple of videos back, that I kind of feel that tug, honestly. I feel that tug within my soul of just like, hey, it's time for you to come back. um, and I really want to. This year, it's definitely kind of we're building a strong foundation, and I want to do my best to serve, to be obedient, to be disciplined, to be a better leader, and to be a better man. And so, you know, it has to start with prayer, and it has to start with, you know, getting my daily bread, and that's opening the Bible, getting into the Word of God, and things like that. And, in Romans 12, verses 1 and 2, I learned that verse about a year and a half ago when I was super involved and active within the church. And honestly, it's stuck with me ever since. It's been something that's been on my heart for a very long time. Since then, it's the first verse that I memorized by heart and can easily say it anytime. Um, and it's one of the verses like that. It's definitely like opened up my eyes a lot more in my Christian faith and in my walk, and um, can that it really made me want to renew my mind, live uh, a Christian lifestyle, you know, to change my lifestyle around, and not just say like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, but my lifestyle doesn't back it up. And I'm not sitting here saying that, when you become a Christian, your lifestyle has to be perfect and needs to be changed, and that you have a perfect life here on out. That's not what I'm saying at all, because trust me, if that was the case, man, the way last year went for me, things could have been a whole lot different. So, um, so yeah, but the key thing for me, anyways, is the renewal of your mind, and you know, um, kind of what I was just talking about a second ago of you know the changing your lifestyle once you accept Christ, because you can't really. Let's put it this way. Let's say a non-believer is friends with a believer, but that believer is someone who claims is a Christian but lives a worldly lifestyle. And again, I'm not saying they have to be perfect. That's not what I'm saying at all, right? But if they're not getting their daily bread, they're not going to church, and they're out drinking, they're out having situationships, and parties and things like that, uh, then I wouldn't say, you're not a Christian, but you kind of confuse your friend. You know, you kind of you're kind of confusing um, the people around you who are not believers, and I want to preference this, by the way. This is, this person that, I'm not blaming anybody. Honestly, if I am like making a point, it's usually from experience. Because I've been that person of like, hey, I claim Christ. I claim, I don't claim Christ. I claim to be a Christian, but I live a completely opposite lifestyle of what a Christian and what God calls us Christians to live a daily lifestyle. Um, and so, but my point is, though, is that you don't do anybody any favors when, you know, you're supposed to, when you claim to be Christian, and you're called to renew your mind, you're called to leave your old lifestyle behind and turn to God and live a new lifestyle with God at the center of it and have a strong foundation. you know um it's like, if you're not doing that, then you're only hurting yourself, but also you're hurting others around you. And I kind of started noticing that towards the end of last year, um, that, and it wasn't that I was hurting others. It was more of like my leadership was diminished because of other people were complaining, but that was kind of a reflection off of me because I started complaining. And whether it's at work, friendships, family, etc., etc., you know, it's kind of a reflection. And I kind of like took a step back and was just like, this ain't right. This is off. We can do better than this. Um, and then I kind of just went down a spiral and just kind of like came to a conclusion like, hey, you yourself, God has not gone anywhere. You yourself have walked into a different direction, and the Lord is calling you back to Him, back to the right direction. Get off the path that everyone's taken and take the path to the Lord, um, path that you're called to be on. Um, so yeah, like that's just kind of where my mind's been at for the past couple of weeks since the new year has started. And you know I've been really working on renewing my mind and building that good, just building that foundation. I'm not claiming to be a pastor, I'm not claiming to be a preacher or anything like that. There's I got a long ways to go before I can really start, um, can even consider any of that. My goal for right now is to simply just live out my life and live out a Christian lifestyle that God has called us to live and do, uh, to be obedient. And for me, and I'm going to keep saying these words over and over again to, throughout the whole year: obedience, discipline, and discipline. Um, those are the two big things that I'm currently working on. And and that's just, Christ is my foundation. um, and so, I'm really bad at explaining things. Um, it's more of my actions that does a better job of showing that. Um, but I think over time, as I continue to read, not just my Bible, but more of theology books, and you know, learning as much as I can, because that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I want to learn and grasp and hold on to teachings and apply things into my life as much as I can. Um, and it may be hard now, but I would rather go through the hardship now and be fruitful as time goes on, and not necessarily things get easier as in later on in life, but just having a better understanding, have a better foundation, a stronger foundation than where my foundation has been the past 2 years. And it's going to take time, and I definitely have to be patient with that. And that's another prayer of mine is patience. So, um, but anywho, today is a upper session uh, with a back focused workout, um, chest and back. This week I am going to change it up just a little bit, where the upper days I've been doing chest and back and shoulders, and then lower days legs and arms. This week we're going to do chest and back and arms, and then on lower days will be legs and shoulders. So, um, but still, this is Split Fiction day 11. Yeah, because yesterday was a rest day. So, diet's been going pretty good. Can't really complain. Haven't been really holding back on this, the foods that I don't need to be eating and the foods that I do need to be eating. Still working around getting cardio in and things like that. I can do a little bit better of a job with it. But overall, we're cruising right now. So, um, but yeah, we're back here. We are back at J Street, and should be a good session. I'm looking forward to tonight's lift. So should be a good one. So, um, enough of this car yap session. Let's get in here and let's go lift. You know, ever had one of those lifts where it wasn't a bad day, but it felt off? That's kind of how I just had my lift session for the day. Um, in all honesty, I kind of got thrown off my game just a little. Uh, it was just kind of one thing. It wasn't like one particular thing. It was kind of just it was one thing after another that just kept happening. At one point, my storage was too full to where like I couldn't record, and that didn't necessarily throw me off, but I don't know. It was just kind of the start of it, and then just kind of like I don't want to say got into a funk, but my lifts weren't really hitting, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, again, it's one thing after another. You're not you're not feeling it, but you kind of just have to push through. And honestly, that's kind of just how my whole lifting session went. Although uh, my back felt fine or felt pretty good. Like I got a good pump. Like some of my main lifts were pretty solid. They weren't. They were definitely like they were really good, but some of the ones that are kind of, and I'm sure you'll be able to see it once I edit the video and put it out there, but um, you can definitely tell like there was something off and just wasn't, I guess, just from storage being full and couldn't, I had to pause for a good like 10-15 minutes just to go back and look through. Uh, Goodness gracious, all this snow. Uh, it took me about 10-15 minutes for me to just kind of go through my storage and delete some delete some old photos of that I wanted to keep. Um, but it's just one of those things where it's time. It's time to let them go. Some of them photos go and create new ones. So um, I think going through those photos kind of took me back down through memory lane, and that just kind of switched the tone for me there, basically. So, um, but it's okay. I mean, I still finished the lift. Um, like I said, my main lifts that I really wanted to focus on: upper chest, which I kind of did towards the end, and then definitely on back. Lat pull downs were good. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What did I do? I did a row I did two different row variations. One that was close grip, and then the other elbows flared out. That was just kind of where my head was at today. And then overhead push down or overhead pull downs machine was another good one. Overall, back was good. Chest, uh, definitely have to get used to lifting with metal weights again, or iron weights again, just because I've been used to the rubber weights that I've had at the gym that I've been going to, and so it's been kind of a different, you know, the weight's a little bit more heavier than than I'm used to. But I mean, I still get the job done. I still lift heavy. I lift good and lift with intensity and really push myself to where I feel it, get a good pump, and overall just getting a good workout in. But for some reason, I just can't really let go of the fact that just kind of in a little funk. um, but I will say, if coming out of that, for one, if I really had to say, like, there's one win out of that whole lifting session, even though that I was in a funk and just not feeling good, not feeling right, and etc. etc. I would say I finished, and I think that's the biggest thing for anybody, especially when you're working out, have goals in life. Um, you know, the gym, except whatever, right? Even now, you can kind of tell I'm kind of just zoned out and out of it. But my overall point is that what matters is that you finished and that you gave it your all. And even though that I was just feeling off, and really my mind was kind of like all over the place, and I won't lie, there was moments where I was like, man, I kind of want to go home. Nah, nah. I pushed through. I finished, and tomorrow after I get some sleep and go to work and head back and do it all over again in the gym and hit some legs, I'm gonna feel better. I will feel completely fine, and the rest is history. Um, oh, it just hit me. So earlier I was trying to get my day 10 lower day leg workout video I had it fully edited, right? And I worked on it all day, and my goal was to get it out around 6 o'clock today. And once I got it done, finished the edit and everything, the internet started acting up, and all of a sudden, like, my storage was full. I had to go into my laptop and delete a whole bunch of stuff, photos and videos and things like that. And like I had to and my idiot self deleted the footage that I recorded off my. Luckily, I have it on my phone, but I deleted it off my laptop, and all the footage went away on Adobe. So I have to go back and re-edit everything, the whole footage, and so it's gonna be. I think that kind of also put me in a funk, and in all honesty, just kind of. I know it's gonna be a late night for me because I really want to. I really enjoy making these videos, and I want to get that, those videos out for you guys. So, it's just one of those things where, I kind of have to do a little bit better job with my time. Because honestly, like as I'm waiting for the video to export and also upload onto YouTube. Let me turn this one on. That'd be better. Yeah, a little better. While I'm waiting for the videos to export and upload to YouTube and everything, I could be doing other things, doing my writing, doing cardio. Instead, I kind of just doom scroll a little bit on my phone, TikTok and everything. So, there's some things that I could do to prevent frustration when things like that happen. But overall, I will say it's one of those days where give it a couple days, I'm gonna be able to look back on this day, and it's just going to be one of those things where I'm like, lesson learned, and so can't really beat yourself up over over stuff like that. You know, you take your losses where you take your L's where they're given, and then you take your W's when you get them. You know, and tonight was kind of an L. You know, but overall, it's just one of those things where like I'm glad I finished and gonna look back and learn from this, and all's gonna be all right. You know, so but I something else that's been on my mind that I'm probably gonna start doing is um, eventually I am going to switch gyms and start going to this gym that I just worked out in J Street. I'm going to start going to that gym. And one of the cool things about going to that gym is once you get a membership at that gym, there's a gym here that's called J Street, and then there's another gym, um, kind of a little down, it's down the road from where I live, and so you kind of get two gyms within one membership, which is pretty cool. Um, so might end up hopping over here soon. Just trying to save up a little bit more. So, um, but overall, I'm pretty excited. But my point is about the gyms is that since these are 24-hour gyms, basically what I'm going to do is mainly I kind of want to start lifting before work. You know, I kind of want to get into the gym before everybody else, get the workout in. You know, it's just me in the gym, and maybe there's one or two other people in the gym, but I pretty much have the whole gym to myself. So that would be a pretty that would be a 2 a.m. workout because I have to be at work at 4. But the bright side of things is that I only work 4 days. I work 4 10-hour shifts. So it's doable. It's doable. So I'm going to give it a try, though. Not tomorrow because I need to get this day 10 video edited. And then 2, I definitely need my sleep because I have to go to work tomorrow. But it's my Friday. Um, so I'm not too worried about it. But I feel like I at least need to start on, let's see, so tomorrow lower day, and then Thursday is rest, Friday upper, Saturday lower, then it's rest on Sunday. Oh boy. um you know what, I will start that on Thursday. Third or right? Tomorrow, legs. Thursday, rest. Friday. Oh, I guess we will start that on Friday. So, um, looking forward to Friday. That would be pretty cool. And then Saturday, lower. Yeah, yeah, that works. That works out. So, pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. So, anywho, that's enough of yapping for the night. I'm gonna go in here, take a shower, edit the video, and then go to sleep. So, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.